on, guys? It's your boy John the Liquidator coming back with another video. It looked like Charles Barkley is putting WNBA players on notice in a recent interview he just did. And I'm telling you right now, he's too familiar with lockouts and especially the Basketball Association. Guys, for this one here, we got to go to New York. Let's jump right into the story, man. So we're sitting here March 5th. Tomorrow will be the 6th, and we're 4 days away. Now, I did a video earlier today kind of letting y'all know my thoughts on everything. I don't think a deal is going to get done, but whatever the case may be.
Charles Barkley didn't mince words. He dropped a bombshell on the WNBA, a brutal, direct warning that sent shivers through the league and left everyone wondering about the future of its biggest stars. He told players point blank they risked ending up unemployed, sitting at home with no check, if they overplayed their hand in ongoing negotiations. This wasn't just speculation, it was a stark, sobering dose of reality from a man who has lived through the very lockouts he now warns them about. The gravity of his statement hung heavy in the air, a clear message to every athlete, especially those new phenoms everyone is watching, about the precarious balance of power. The potential consequences for careers and the league's explosive growth suddenly became terrifyingly real.
Whatever the case may be, we're going to continue to cover this thing as best we can here on our channel. Now, with that being said, Charles Barkley gave life and gave light to a situation that he knows too well. See, the NBA has had 2 lockouts, man. And Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan and all these other great NBA legends was a part of this lockout. Now, if they had Michael Jordan then, right, the biggest athlete we could say ever, and the owners didn't even give in when they had Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley.
Barkley's words weren't born of ignorance. They came from a deeply personal, battle-hardened place. He knows these struggles intimately, having experienced 2 major NBA lockouts himself. He stood on the front lines during those bitter disputes, witnessing firsthand the sheer power of ownership and the brutal financial realities players faced when negotiations broke down. This isn't just an analyst giving an opinion, it's a seasoned veteran recounting history, warning the WNBA to learn from the past. His perspective adds an undeniable weight to the warning, transforming it from a mere suggestion into a chilling prophecy if players aren't careful.
All these other great NBA legends was a part of this lockout. Now, if they had Michael Jordan then, right, the biggest athlete we could say ever, and the owners didn't even give in when they had Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all Magic, everybody was playing. And they didn't even give in then. What in their right minds tells them that they finna give in with just they little bitty stars that they got, bro? Not too much at all. Not too much. Now, I don't get why they can't get over this revenue sharing thing.
His message was crystal clear. WNBA players are walking on thin ice right now. This wasn't a gentle suggestion or a mild caution. It was a direct, urgent red alert. He underscored the immense pressure building behind the scenes, emphasizing that the current negotiations are not just about securing better pay, but about the very stability of their careers and the league's momentum. The stakes, according to Barkley, could not be higher, and any misstep could lead to devastating consequences for everyone involved, from veteran players to the newest, most celebrated rookies entering the league.
Because I found it to be pretty interesting. Now, he was on the show today, and he gave his thoughts. And we finna react to it. Let's play.
Yeah, they need to be very careful. They're walking on thin ice right now, Susie. Number one, I wish those ladies luck. I want them to get paid as much as possible. I wish them nothing but the best. But let me tell you something. I had Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. I've had some of the greatest players ever, and we went on strike. Listen, you gotta be
right there, bro. He said he had the greatest
To drive his point home, Barkley invoked the ghosts of NBA past, reminding everyone that even the legendary Michael Jordan couldn't strong-arm owners into submission. Imagine that, the greatest athlete arguably ever to play the game, a global icon with unparalleled influence, was part of lockouts where owners refused to yield. This powerful historical context serves as a chilling precedent, highlighting the unwavering resolve of billionaire owners when their financial interests are challenged. If even MJ, with all his star power, couldn't guarantee a win for the players, what does that mean for the WNBA's current landscape?
I wish them nothing but the best. But let me tell you something. I had Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. I've had some of the greatest players ever, and we went on strike. Listen, you got to be...
Right there, bro. He said he had the greatest players ever when they went on strike. Now, he finna go into detail more about how they strike went. Now, out the gate, bruh, Charles Barkley, he ain't joking. He ain't playing. He dead ass serious.
The sheer magnitude of talent involved in those past NBA lockouts is almost unfathomable. We're talking about Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, an entire pantheon of basketball gods, all playing at their peak, yet still unable to break the owner's will. This collective bargaining power, representing some of the most influential figures in sports history, ultimately proved insufficient to force a quick resolution. Barkley vividly remembers those meetings, the player unity, and the eventual harsh reality that forced concessions, painting a stark picture of the immense uphill battle players face.
More about how they strike went. Now, out the gate, bruh, Charles Barkley, he ain't joking. He ain't playing. He dead ass serious with these ladies. And I really hope they watching this, bruh. I really do. Because I want them to get their money. I have been one, at least over here on my channel, an advocate for these ladies making $1 million, bro. They definitely supposed to be millionaires. They all are professional athletes. I don't know too many professional athletes that ain't millionaires. Even college athletes is millionaires, bro. So these...
Barkley directly questioned the WNBA players' leverage, posing a blunt, uncomfortable truth. If owners didn't give in when they had Michael Jordan and a galaxy of other superstars, what makes WNBA players think they will give in now, with what he called just a little bit of stars that they got? This stinging comparison, though harsh, reflects a stark perception of power dynamics. It's a critical challenge to the players' current strategy, urging them to realistically assess their position against the deep pockets and proven resolve of ownership. The perceived lack of megastar leverage could be their undoing.
College athletes is millionaires, bro. So these ladies definitely deserve their money. It's how they going about obtaining their money that's making it an issue. A major issue, and that's just something I don't want them to possibly lose out or shoot themselves in the foot for trying to do too much, because it's clear as day that they're doing just that. Too much, bruh. It's just too much buffoonery going on for us not to have a deal done. Let's listen to Charles Barkley.
Be careful of trying to figure out your...
The core of Barkley's warning revolves around the crucial concept of overplaying your hand. He vehemently stressed that while advocating for fair compensation is essential, pushing too far, believing the owners need them more than they need the league, is a dangerous delusion. His message was clear. There's a delicate balance between demanding what you deserve and making demands that will ultimately leave you sitting on the sidelines, unpaid and without a platform. This isn't about being meek, but about strategic negotiation in a high-stakes environment.
Need us. Then I know what you know what I was doing, Sue? Sitting my black ass at home, unemployed. These guys, I remember sitting in those meetings. They're like, no, they're not going to strike.
Did you just hear them? They're going to be sitting at home, unemployed, thinking that they need them. Now, we know they don't need them. They got the NBA. We know this. But for whatever reason, I'm glad he said that. Because guess what? That's what they're going to be doing. Sitting their ass at home, not getting no check.
On one hand, the commentator passionately advocated for WNBA players to become millionaires, asserting that professional athletes, even college ones, often are. They deserve their money, absolutely. Yet, Barkley's seasoned perspective offers a harsh counterpoint. The desire for millionaire status, while valid, must contend with the unyielding power of billionaire owners. This fundamental financial disparity dictates the negotiating table, where millions, no matter how numerous, will always be at the mercy of billions. It's a sobering truth about wealth and power. At the heart of the current WNBA dispute are two critical issues: revenue sharing and housing. These aren't minor details, they represent fundamental demands for fair compensation and basic professional standards. Players are pushing for a larger piece of the financial pie and improved living conditions, necessities for any professional athlete. However, as Barkley implies, these demands, while legitimate, are precisely the kind of issues that can lead to prolonged standoffs and ultimately a lockout if both sides dig in their heels too deeply, risking everything. Barkley vividly recounted the misguided confidence he observed during his own playing days. Players convinced that owners needed them. He shared stories from those tense meetings where athletes genuinely believed their talent and popularity made them indispensable. This overconfidence, he explained, often blinded players to the owner's capacity for resilience and their willingness to outlast any strike. It's a psychological trap, he warned, one that can lead to a devastating miscalculation of leverage and an underestimation of the adversary's resolve. The hard truth Barkley wanted to convey was the stark reality of being unemployed during a lockout. He didn't just speak theoretically, he described sitting at home, not getting paid, watching weeks turn into months. His personal account serves as a brutal reminder that the romantic idea of a strike quickly gives way to the harsh financial strain of missed paychecks and mounting bills. This lived experience underscores his warning. The unemployed threat isn't just a bargaining tactic, it's a very real, very painful outcome. Barkley articulated a fundamental truth about power dynamics in professional sports. Billionaires always hold the upper hand over millionaires. No matter how many millions a player accumulates, they are not a billionaire, and that financial chasm creates an insurmountable leverage imbalance. This isn't a moral judgment, but a cold, hard fact of economics. Players must understand this inherent disadvantage and strategize accordingly, recognizing that raw financial power often dictates the ultimate outcome of any protracted negotiation. Given this stark power dynamic, Barkley's advice was pragmatic. Players must aim to make the best deal possible in the moment. He advocated for continuous growth and improvement within the framework of an existing agreement, rather than risking everything on an all-or-nothing gamble. This strategy emphasizes incremental gains and long-term stability over a potentially catastrophic short-term standoff. It's about securing a solid foundation and building from there, safeguarding careers against the unpredictable fallout of a prolonged dispute. The commentator, despite agreeing with Barkley's ultimate warning, voiced frustration over the league's tactics, describing how management was dragging us out and putting immense pressure on the players. This sentiment highlights the emotional toll these negotiations take, revealing the deep-seated tension and the feeling among athletes that the league itself is intentionally prolonging the dispute. This deliberate pressure campaign adds another layer of complexity, pushing players to their limits while trying to secure their futures. From the player's perspective, their one tool in this high-stakes negotiation is simply to wait it out. This strategy, while seemingly passive, relies on the assumption that time is on their side and the league will eventually yield to avoid further disruption. It's a risky gambit, however, as Barkley's historical accounts clearly demonstrate. The effectiveness of waiting depends entirely on who can withstand the financial pressure longer, and as Barkley points out, billionaires have an almost infinite capacity to do so. The commentator's initial sentiment about waiting it out quickly turned into a grim prediction. "You'll ask me, wait no," to unemployment line. This chilling phrase directly echoes Barkley's warning, underscoring the severe consequences of miscalculating the wait-it-out strategy. It paints a vivid picture of players having exhausted their funds and their patience, ultimately finding themselves in the unemployment line, a scenario far removed from their dreams of professional athletic success and financial security. Despite the harsh warnings and the bleak outlook, there's an undeniable undercurrent of support for the players. The commentator, like Barkley, explicitly stated their wish for the ladies to get paid as much money as possible and achieve the millionaire status they deserve. This dual perspective highlights the complex emotions surrounding the WNBA's future, a fervent desire for player prosperity tempered by a pragmatic, hard-nosed understanding of the economic realities and the immense power wielded by team owners. This unemployed warning lands at a particularly sensitive time for the WNBA, a league experiencing an unprecedented surge in popularity, driven by a new generation of electrifying talent. The influx of captivating stars has ignited fan interest and viewership like never before. The timing of these tense negotiations, right when the league is poised for a massive leap forward, makes Barkley's warning even more impactful. It forces reflection on whether this newfound momentum could be jeopardized by internal disputes, impacting everyone, including rising phenoms. The stakes for the WNBA could not be higher. On one side, a league riding a wave of unprecedented media attention and fresh talent. On the other, a stark warning from a respected voice about the perils of overplaying a hand in negotiations. The outcome of these discussions will not only determine player salaries and working conditions, but will fundamentally shape the league's trajectory for years to come. This pivotal moment demands careful strategy and a profound understanding of the power dynamics at play, lest the promising future be derailed. Charles Barkley's unemployed warning to WNBA players wasn't just a critique, it was a wake-up call, a stark reminder from history about the unwavering power of ownership. His words, steeped in personal lockout experience, force a critical look at how players approach negotiations, especially in a league on the precipice of its biggest boom. The question now looms large. Will the WNBA heed this veteran advice, or will its stars risk everything, potentially facing the very unemployment line Barkley so vividly described? The league's future and the careers of its brightest talents hang precariously in the balance.